Hey everyone, welcome to a special BRAP. Sorry there was no BRAP last night. I was actually under the weather yesterday. I'm feeling much better today, but did have a fever, but what's considered a low-grade fever, about 100.9, almost 101. And yeah, it was just like I felt like complete shit the night before. I had chills. I swear I had COVID, but COVID test came back negative, but definitely feeling better today. So I figured, why the heck not? Why not do a quick BRAP on a Thursday evening? Sorry I'm late, by the way. Just finished wrapping up some things here, but definitely some big news to talk about. Jim Ryan is retiring from PlayStation, and comes as a shock that he's retiring, but at the same token, not surprising given his tenure. It is something I see quite a bit with people in his position and the role that I do. We do tend to see a lot of senior executives, leadership retire after spending 25 plus years with an organization. That does tend to happen, and that appears to be the case here, despite some of the conspiracy theories that are out there running wild, like Hulkamania brother on Twitter. I don't understand. Gaming Twitter is terrible. You have people grifting people out of money. You have people spreading misinformation, disinformation. You have people who clearly don't love video games having conversations about video games. You have people being more fans of corporations, of companies, more than actual video games themselves. It's really crazy. I don't understand. So, actually, give me a second. I'm going to take I need to get some water. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Had to get something to drink here because I still do have a sore throat. But yeah, so you have gaming Twitter. You have people that seem to be fans of corporations and not necessarily video games. I don't understand. And seemingly, like, you don't have people who care about and understand the art form that is video games. That video games, art is subjective. Video games are subjective because they are an art form. Anyhow, so we'll be talking about Jim Ryan leaving. Again, I don't really think. I mean, don't think that's that big of a deal per se that he's leaving. I mean, yeah, it's a deal, it's a thing, but I don't think it's as big as some people are making out to be. I mean, we see executives leave companies, after having long tenures within organizations. So it's not uncommon per se. Also, Nvidia has been raided by authorities. We're going to talk about that. It's breaking news. And then Epic, unfortunately, announcing huge layoffs that have impacted people at Epic, and that's very unfortunate. It's about 16% of their huge layoffs, by the way. 16% of the staff there is being impacted by layoffs. So we'll talk about that. To give you an idea, about 2% of and yes, boycott activity with the immaturity in the live chat. Thank you for that boycott activity. Singing "Na na na, hey hey, goodbye" for Jim Ryan. Okay. I don't understand the behavior of adults at times. I just don't. But anyhow, so yeah, 60% is really, 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 really high. Give you an idea of what average attrition looks like. in an organization, you typically get about 2%, maybe 3% a year. That's about average in terms of turnover within an organization. The organization I work for just laid about 5%, and that is because of the current economic climate, reduction in discretionary spending, things like that. But anyhow, so yeah, just really shocking to see the 16% layoffs. Actually, somebody that we have had on a guest, as a guest, actually, on a few occasions, Christian Allen, who was at Epic for, I believe, about 6 years, and is a software developer in gaming. Actually worked on games like, I believe he worked on, I think it was Halo 3, I think it was. Worked on a couple other shooters, Ghost Recon being one of them. But we had Christian Allen on. We've had him on a few times, and he was unfortunately impacted by the layoffs after being at Epic for about 6 years, and wish him nothing but the best in terms of his next opportunity. So, all right, so let's go to Nvidia. So Nvidia offices have reportedly been raided in France due to anti-competitive practices. This is according to Diextro. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So on September 27, 2023, the France Competition Authority raided NVIDIA's offices, reportedly due to investigation to anti-competitive practices. As reported by Reuters, NVIDIA's local offices in France are raided by authorities. While they didn't go into full detail about the raid, they did give a few hints of what they're investigating. The French Competition Authority has revealed that their raid followed a broader inquiry into cloud computer sector of the industry. According to authorities, the inquiry revolves around concerns that cloud computing companies could use their access to computing power to exclude smaller competitors. Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that concern? Where have we heard about companies leveraging their adjacencies? Here or down under, what's going on? Yeah, so that sounds familiar. The French Competition Authority issued a statement about the raid on their website. It's in French, so here is the translation to English. Following authorization from a judge of liberty and detention, the investigation services of the French Competition Authority conducted a dawn raid at the premises of a company suspected of having implemented anti-competitive practices in the graphics card sector. A raid sounds so, I mean, this sounds a little like, I don't know, like I imagine like SWAT rolling up and guns blazing, kicking the doors down when I hear the word raid. But anyhow, it's probably not what happened. This part of the focus put on the this is part of the focus put on the cloud by the French Competition Authority, which was the subject of an opinion on competition in its sector published on June 29, 2023. Such dawn raids do not presuppose the existence of a violation of the law that could be attributed to the company involved in the alleged practices, which only a full investigation to the merits of this case could establish if appropriate. So again, we don't know if in fact Nvidia has broken any anti-competitive laws. In fact, has broken any competitive laws, but there seems to be some belief that could be the case in France. Hence the raid. So Striker X31 says, did they say what they were looking for? No, I don't see that here in this article, and I didn't look at the Reuters report, which this article is pulled from. But this is literally just happened within the last hour or so that this news broke. So all right, so let's go to, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We'll keep an eye on it and provide updates as we hear more of news coming out of France regarding the Nvidia raid to alleged anti-competitive practices. But it's interesting. They talked about Nvidia leveraging its cloud technology to and not allowing smaller competitors to be able to compete in that space. Again, we've heard these concerns before with the Microsoft ABK acquisition, something that we've talked about quite a bit on the show where, look, bigger tech companies like Microsoft have the ability to leverage their adjacencies to do things that smaller competitors just can't, make it harder for competitors to compete in a cloud space. I mean, we talk about subscription services in gaming, people saying, oh, this acquisition by of ABK by Microsoft is going to make the market more competitive. It's going to lead to innovation. I don't see that. No one's been able to articulate that in any way that really uses anything tangible to highlight how that's going to happen. I haven't seen those arguments. If they're out there, please point them in my direction. I'd love to read some of those arguments, but I haven't seen anything contrary to hopes and dreams that this, in fact, is going to lead to innovation and competition. Again, smaller cloud providers who are looking to get into gaming, they need to have content. And when you have a $1 trillion company that not only owns the infrastructure and platform that people use to stream content out to consumers, but then also owns the content that people want to engage with, that's quite an advantage. And also from a P&L perspective, you look at the fact that there are certain things that Microsoft can do, that Amazon can do, that Google could do, that like a Nintendo couldn't do. Nintendo doesn't have a cloud infrastructure, cloud network where where they're not necessarily paying to access for cloud. Microsoft and Amazon can do those things, and without the additional P&L or additional cost to their business to run a game streaming service. But not only that, just also have the content to boot as well. So makes it doesn't make it necessarily easy for smaller companies to step into that space. So again, I would encourage everyone to read, to Google enshittification and choke point capitalism. Please Google those two things. Insightful. It's an insightful read. I encourage everyone to Google enshittification and choke point capitalism. So yes, and yes, player, and in England they sold off the cloud rights to Ubisoft, but not in the European Union. But still, my point stands beyond that as well. I mean, that these companies, these $1 trillion companies who have, it's not worldwide, player, it's only in the UK. But it is. I don't actually. You know what? I don't think it's world. Actually, let me check here, because I haven't read that it's worldwide. Let me see here. Player, if you could do me a kind favor and just drop a link of where you read that it's worldwide. But still, regardless, I mean, outside of the ABK thing, and its streaming, and utilizing Ubisoft, the point still stands that these companies like a Microsoft, like an Amazon, have the infrastructure, have the internal backbone. That's not an additional cost, but also own the content. They also own the content too. And they can, like Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo owns content, but they don't own the cloud infrastructure, the backbone. They have to pay for that. It's additional cost. Where that's not necessarily additional cost to Microsoft or to like an Amazon or Google, because they own those technologies. They own that infrastructure. Go back and see what Microsoft did with Internet Explorer, how they could bundle Internet Explorer with Windows. And that's essentially why you only have look what happened to Netscape. Yeah, I thought, and I could be wrong. I mean, I thought that it was the Ubisoft thing was only related to the UK. I didn't think it was worldwide. I'm trying to look this up now. All right, here we go. I'm pulling the article here. New offer gives Ubisoft, not Microsoft, control of Activision gaming streaming rights. In a major restructuring of its long-proposed acquisition plans for Activision Blizzard, Microsoft announced that its cloud streaming rights for current and future Activision titles will be controlled by Ubisoft rather than Microsoft itself. The move is an effort to ameliorate concerns from UK regulators who blocked the proposed deal in April. Okay. Oh, okay, so you're right. The newly proposed deal covers perpetual worldwide streaming rights for all current Activision games and those released in the next 15 years, according to an announcement from Microsoft Vice Chair. Okay. Ubisoft will have exclusive control of those streaming rights outside of the European Union, allowing the company to make these games available on its own Ubisoft Plus service and to license them into other cloud gaming. Okay. All right, so it looks like, okay, there we go. Thank you for that clarification there, Player. I appreciate that. I may have missed that. I stopped keeping up with the ABK deal just because Hey, Ice Cream Gaming, happy birthday to you, by the way. All right, so let's get back to the Epic announcement of layoffs here. In an email, Tim Sweeney said for a while now they've been spending way more money than they earn. That Fortnite creator content profit margin is not as big as Fortnite was. And 870 jobs eliminated, but Epic is still hiring. No more layoffs planned. So it's about 16% of the staff. So it's about 900 jobs altogether. Let's see here. I had some more information here. No, that's it. Yeah, so that was breaking today. I think Jason Schreier actually broke that story earlier in the day that that Epic Games was going to go through was having some layoffs. Again, that's a pretty high number. I mean, typically you get about 2 to 3% in reduction of force on average a year. That's considered normal. 60% is very high. And by the way, this obviously has been picked up by many major news publications. So I'm looking for some more information, if I can find any more information on the Yeah, so Tim Sweeney also said the company's making ongoing efforts to reduce costs, including moving to net zero hiring and cutting operating spend to things like marketing and events. I mean, that's not uncommon to see things like marketing and events, things like that. That's kind of discretionary spending. That's typically where you're going to see reduction in force and spending. Despite some of these efforts, the company ended up far short financial sustainability, and Epic concluded layoffs for the next logical steps. Sweeney says that conducting the layoffs now on this scale will stabilize the company's finances. He did also say Tim Sweeney also said that I'd been long optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that this was unrealistic. He says we're cutting costs without breaking development of our core lines of businesses, so we can continue to focus on our ambitious plans. About 2/3 of the layoffs were in teams outside of core development. Some of our products and initiatives will land on schedule, and some may not ship when planned because they are under-resourced for the time being. We're okay with the schedule trade-off if it means holding on to our ability to achieve our goals, get to the other side of profitability, and become a leading metaverse company. When he speaks of metaverse, obviously it's Fortnite, but so even with the Fortnite being a huge hit, I mean, this is I haven't looked too much into Epic's financials, but maybe this would be something that we get Falky on for. But this is interesting considering how popular and how much money revenue Fortnite drives. I understand they're doing more. I understand they're doing they've kind of created this metaverse inspired ecosystem for content creators, and there's some sharing of revenue there, but I mean, I how much did that impact their business? I'm just curious. Yeah, Sergeant's saying Fortnite doesn't make as much before compared to the spending. Yeah, I guess, again, I'm just interested to see how much you were spending. I mean, he says that they were spending a lot. I'm just curious to see what that actually means. I haven't looked into the actual finances. And they had a price increase for V-Bucks. Sergeant, I don't hate you. Did you... Oh, okay, thank you, Sergeant. I missed your part there. Pure Xbox Smith says that the new agreement allows Ubisoft to innovate and encourage different business models in the licensing and pricing of these games on cloud streaming servers worldwide. Okay, I missed that. Mr. Bob says maybe they spent too much to upgrade Unreal Engine 5. By the way, is anyone playing Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty DLC? I just started playing that. So there's two ways you can, if you have Cyberpunk 2077 and you play the game, you can either jump directly to the DLC, create a new character. I didn't do that. I'm actually in my second playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. I beat the game in 2020 when it released, and then I went back after watching. Oh my gosh, what's the Cyberpunk? I think it's Edge Runners. Let me see here. Yes, Edge Runners. So after watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which came out last year, if you have not seen or watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, the anime. The anime Cyberpunk series on Netflix, it is amazing. It is seriously, it's amazing. It's like I kind of came into it a little I wasn't so sure if that was gonna be a show that I was gonna enjoy, but I really liked it. Like it's an incredible show, and I encourage everyone. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. It's phenomenal. You can actually find some of the main protagonists, some of his I think weapons or upgrades in the actual video game. You can actually visit the Ripper Doc, who's actually in Cyberpunk Edge Runners. But there's also you can also build. You can make specific builds to the main protagonist, David Martinez. And to Gloria, who's one of the other characters in Cyberpunk Edge Runners. But anyhow, I'm playing Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I just got into it. Like I said, there's two ways you can get into. You could jump into the DLC. One particular way is starting new, creating a new character, and then jumping right into the DLC, or You can do what I did. I took my character from my second playthrough, 10 hours in. You have to be about 10 hours in and into the game to continue as your current character to trigger events to get you into Phantom Liberty. But again, as I said, the other option is just creating a new character, just starting at Phantom Liberty, creating a new character, starting that new character in Phantom Liberty, and then go from there. But I was already in like that 10-hour mark. I was at that. Black Dragon. It's not I would say it's not really an RPG. It's not a. It's not a CRPG for sure, but I wouldn't categorize Cyberpunk as not being an RPG. You are role playing as someone. You are upgrading your character stats. You are creating. There are different character builds that you can create in Cyberpunk. Like I mentioned, the Cyberpunk anime series Edge Runners. You can actually build a character class that is exactly the same as the main protagonist, David Martinez. Or you could do Glory as well. I'm sorry, give me a sec here. There's an article here. I'm trying to pull up this article here with the different builds you can do. There was this article I was reading earlier today because I was looking at like. Hold on a second. I'm going to find it. Oh, here we go. Charlie Intel is actually a good article here. The best Cyberpunk 2.0. So there's a Berserk Shinobi melee build. I think maybe Slow-Mo may have been playing with that at one point. And so you can actually, and so this is why I don't agree with that, Blackjack, is that you can actually, there's different attributes, body, reflexes, technical ability, intelligence, and you can actually, and there's attributes in there that you can actually upgrade and things like that. And again, they're different character builds. There's the Lucy build, which is Lucy from Edge Runners. I said Gloria. What I meant to say was Lucy. And then there's a David Martinez build as well. So, I mean, you can actually build, again, those characters based on or from that particular anime. But oh, come on, Darkseid. But anyhow, no, I'm enjoying Phantom Liberty so far. I'm still early on, but to me this kind of seems like the game that Cyberpunk should have been at launch. Oh, Striker X everyone says I found David's cyberware in the game. Yeah, I read that you could find that. Where did you find his cyberware in the game? I'm just curious. I'm really curious. Yeah, I could see the Far Cry comparisons, Black Dragon. I could see that. I'm not. You're not. I can certainly see why you would come to that conclusion. But there's definitely RPG elements there, things that you can do to upgrade your character, build out different character classes. Yeah, I'd be interested. Now, Striker, did you see the Rip Doctor that's actually in Edge Runners? Did you go? Because apparently that Rip Doctor is actually in the game as well. I haven't seen him. Yeah, Sergeant Candy Crush is printing money. I've always said that the big play for this deal isn't Call of Duty. It's mobile. Yeah. Yeah, again, guys, I mean, I see people. There's been this. I've seen this guy. This conversation on RPGs recently, and I don't think Cyberpunk is. I don't think it's not an RPG. I didn't. I mean, it's not a CRPG for sure. It's not that. It's not a Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's just, it's a. I would say that Baldur's Gate 3 is probably like what I grew up playing in terms of RPGs, more of a traditional computer RPG or CRPG. But I don't look at Cyberpunk as not being an RPG. So for those curious, as we're talking about Striker X31, if you do play Phantom Liberty, or if you're playing Cyberpunk still, the David Martinez build, you can actually create his actual build. They say it's best to pair his build with Chrome. It's best to pair it with melee weapons for maximum damage, and to also get the Mantis Blade cyberware. For his build, you'll need the Quake Finisher, Savage Sling, Painkiller, Adrenaline Rush, Pain and Gain, Air Dash, Edge Runner, and License to Chrome perks. Required attributes for David Martinez is 20 body, 20 reflexes, 20 technical ability, 3 intelligence, 8 cool. Recommended weapons, gold-plated baseball bat, hammer tier 5, the Defender. Recommended cyberware, Militech Falcon, Sandvestion. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Newton module, Mantis blades, Gorilla arms, dense marrow, and blood pump. That's what's required for. Oh, you got the Ripper Doc from the anime had David Cyberware Militech. Okay. You got it from him. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look and find that Ripper Doc. Yeah, no, I could see that because it's pen and paper roots. I could certainly see that, Max. Why some people might feel that way. I just didn't. That's just me. So I like I said, I just started playing that, and I will have some thoughts on Phantom Liberty, the next BRAP on Wednesday. By the way, just to let everyone know, we have a tentative confirmation that this Tuesday at 12 p.m. East, this coming Tuesday, I say next Tuesday, October, I believe it's October the 3rd. Let me just double check my dates here. Yes, this coming Tuesday, October the 3rd, we're going to have a guest on at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You're not going to want to miss this. It's I don't know if I should just break the news now. Tentative confirmation. We have tentatively confirmed that Colin Moriarty from Last Stand Media from Sacred Symbols will be joining us at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have him on for about an hour to discuss video games on a special BRAP Tuesday, October the 3rd. So, again, it's been tentatively scheduled. I'm waiting for just a couple more things, but it does look like we're going to have him on this coming Tuesday, October the 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So please, everyone, if you can make the show live, come hanging out with myself. I think Slow-Mo might be joining us as well. And obviously the guest, Colin Moriarty of Sacred Symbols, Last Stand Media. So looking forward to having Colin on and talking video games. So going to be a great show. All right. Well, Nicholas, if you don't care, you don't have to listen. All right, Anonymous Boss with the $10 super, not $10, but I'll say $10. Sup, Rap, and the whole chat. People are saying the new RE DLC is really good, and Brap, you think Code Veronica is coming later on. Let's not forget Silent Hill 2 Remake. Yes. I'm not sure about Code Veronica. Silent Hill 2 Remake, yes. You know what? That's another. Look, there's a lot of content that's dropping right now. I've not played the Resident Evil 4 DLC, but I have seen some other people who've played it talk about it, and it's been pretty positive. I'm not sure if that's something I'll get to just yet. But yeah, I mean, what a time to be a gamer, right? We have that DLC. What else do we have coming up? We had Phantom Liberty DLC just dropped. We have Spider-Man 2 coming out soon in a couple weeks. Just a lot of great content coming out. Yeah, Max. I mean, the great thing about Colin, he's got a lot of insight, perspective, not only as somebody who's covered the gaming industry for 20 years, but also somebody who who also owns an indie game development studio. I'm not sure that many people. Hey, have a great evening, Ice Queen Gaming. Thank you for coming by, and happy birthday again. But I'm not sure if many people know that he does own his own indie game studio, so he's got that perspective too in terms of game development, but also having covered the industry for 20 years. All right. All right, and Nicholas, you are behaving like a child, so you're gone. Mr. Green with the $5 super chat. Hey, Brap, should I start Jared Goff or Jordan Love for fantasy football? Jordan Love. Jordan Love. All right. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan's retiring after 28 years, saying he's tired of traveling so much for work. That's one of the reasons why he's actually retiring. He said Ryan yesterday said he's retiring after 28 years with the company. He said one of the things he said is he found it difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. He will officially be leaving the post in March of 2024. So Jim Ryan is like, hey, you know what? I'm done traveling. I'm done. No, it's because Nicholas, because your opinion, look, you could share your opinion, but we just don't care for that kind of talk here on this show. Start calling people fanboys and stuff. I mean, it's dumb. I mean, we're all adults here. My expectations that everyone acts like an adult. And yeah, so, like that kind of opinion, that kind of thought isn't welcome. There's other shows you can go out there and call people fanboys and act like a child. We just don't do that here. So if you can adhere to those standards, then you feel you're welcome to stay. If not, you can go somewhere else. Gregor Von Doom. What's up, Gregor Von Doom? All right. Under Jim Ryan's leadership, record-breaking revenue, $26.9 billion in fiscal year 2022. He is under his leadership, new operating income highs of $3.091 billion for fiscal year 20. Also, major acquisitions, which include Bungie, Nixus, and 41.7 million PS5 shipments. And look, the PlayStation 5 has done very well under Jim Ryan, under his leadership. Coming off the success of the PlayStation 4. I saw a lot of people saying that, Jim Ryan, that Sony's in trouble and that Jim Ryan's leaving. I don't know how people arrived at that conclusion. But yeah, it is kind of look, it's not uncommon. I think it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for executives to retire after 28, 25 plus years of working for an organization. Boycott says bring back Jack Trenton. I don't think that's going to happen. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Herman Holtz gets tapped on the shoulder to replace Jim Ryan. But under Jim Ryan, we saw Sony kind of expand more into PC, which I know made some PlayStation fans upset. I don't know why they would be upset. Look, I think it makes sense for PlayStation first party to be on PC. It's another revenue stream, another notch in the belt, if you will, that can drive money into the company. So, I mean, look, he was, I think under his leadership, I mean, like look at the numbers don't lie. I mean, and all this, by the way, all this was accomplished during, with the launch of the PlayStation 5 during the start, in the middle of a pandemic. Really the start of the pandemic. This is the fall of 2020 when those consoles launch, and despite the supply chain being totally effed, shipments hard, very hard to get shipments out, very hard to locate PlayStation 5s. The shipments managed to bounce back, and Sony, as of July, announced that they had sold 40 million PlayStation 5s, and that's despite the pandemic. I mean, so he'll be leaving March 2024, and the interim CEO will be I forget his name. It will be something Totoki. I always forget his name now. Yeah, so Totoki will be chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment on October 23rd, ahead of Ryan's departure. It says once he's appointed interim CEO, Totoki worked closely with Sony Group Corporation chairman and CEO Kenichiro Yoshida and the management team of SIE to help define the next chapter of PlayStation's future, including the succession of the SIE CEO role. So, Gregor, you're funny. So, yeah, Max. I mean, that's speculation. I mean, I okay. I mean, like I don't think that's the reason why why he's out, because he couldn't stop the merger. Most executives at his level are primarily judged on one thing, and that's performance. That's financial performance. And if you look at the financial metrics for PlayStation 5 and where they are in comparison to the competition, I think that he clearly excelled there. I mean, if you look at what the PlayStation 5 has done, as I mentioned, some of those numbers. So no, I understand that some people are speculating that that was his job, and that if he failed to stop the merger, he'd be out. But that's not what happened. But I have seen people saying that. I did see someone else say that. I guess what's going to be interesting, though, is anything going to change, though? And again, I do think Herman Hulse will probably, my opinion, I think Herman Hulse will probably, I think he seems like the next likely candidate to fill in the role. I mean, he's worked closely with Jim Ryan, but I wonder what this is going to mean for the next era PlayStation. When you talk about Jim Ryan moving into PC, kind of expand, and then doubling down on PlayStation VR2, creating that the PlayStation Portal handheld device. But I'm just wondering, like, what is going to happen next? Like, I'm just curious. Like, I wonder if they're going to continue the course that they're going through. There's more of an investment in live services games or games as a service. They're not pivoting away from those storytelling or the narrative driven third person action adventure type game. I mean, that's something that's been very successful for them. Jim Ryan has said they're still going to continue doing those things. But I'm wondering if they're going to stay the course or things change. If they start maybe looking at maybe putting their games day and date on PC. I'd be okay with that personally, because then I wouldn't need a PlayStation 5 console. I'd just primarily game on PC. I mean, I primarily game on PC anyway. It's PC for me, then PlayStation 5, then Nintendo Switch, in that order in terms of where I spend my gaming time. But it's just going to be interesting to see who they tap on the shoulder. If it isn't Herman Hulse, if Herman or whoever steps in this role kind of continues the blueprint that Jim Ryan has been following. As they kind of expand out of that traditional PlayStation ecosystem into PC, maybe more expansion into mobile. Just be curious to see how that works. If maybe they change their perspective on their PlayStation Plus subscription services. Maybe they start including games sooner, their first party games sooner in that subscription service. Or do they flirt with the idea of day and date in PlayStation Plus? But again, I'm just throwing these things out. It's just going to be interesting to see how things might potentially change, or if things more likely stay the same. Blackjack says Sony needs to bring back first-party Japanese games. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I'd like to see it, but I think it just depends on if it makes financial sense for them. Gregor Von Du says it's funny that so many are surprised he's retiring when everyone's talking about Phil possibly retiring soon after he did. That IGN interview after Redfall, these guys have been around 30 years. Yeah, Game Logic speculates that Phil Spencer will be retiring in 2026. Yes, Max, thank you. FromSoftware needs to bring back Tenchu. Yes, I agree with that 110%. Tenchu was a phenomenal game. Phenomenal. God, what can we get a Tenchu, please? Can we get that? By the way, Sekiro has hit 10 million in sales. Congratulations to Sekiro. Sekiro was a great game, by the way. Great game. One of my favorite FromSoftware games. Phenomenal. Beat it twice. Beat it on PC, beat it on PlayStation 5. One of my favorite From games. Yeah, that is true, Gregor Von Doom. FromSoft did bring back Tenchu, but turned into Sekiro. That is true. That is true. It did start off that way, and it turned into Sekiro. Yeah, but yeah, I like to see Resistance come back too. Then I wonder, like, would we see more? Would new leadership bring back some of these games that fans have been asking for? Resistance, SOCOM. There's certainly games that that PlayStation fans have been asking for. Sam Walton. Yes, SOCOM. Bring back Sly Cooper. Yeah, I'm okay with Killzone. I'm okay with that. Killzone wasn't bad. It was okay. Oh, the Guardian Ape. Yes. You know what? All the Sekiro talk, I'm actually go back. Legends of Dragoon. I would love to see that game come back. By the way, Dragon's Dogma 2 looked really good at the Tokyo Game Show. So I'll never forget playing the fiery Demon of Hatred. So I got the... did I get the platinum in Sekiro? Oh, I can't remember now. I have to go and look. No, I don't think I got the platinum Sekiro. I did not, but I did beat the fiery Demon of Hatred, who was actually pretty hard. I'll never forget, I was streaming that, and I think I barely had any life left, and I beat him. Oh, it was such a great feeling. Oh, Hamp's calling me right now. I don't think Hamp knows that I'm online or that I'm podcasting right now. Yeah, Ishin the Sword Saint was hard. It was difficult in that game. I'm trying to think back to all the other the True Corrupted Monk gave me a fit. Yeah, I might have to go back. I might go back and get that platinum. I don't have it. I got the platinum in Bloodborne. Which, well, please, if whoever takes over as CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, please give us Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne Remaster, Remake, whatever. Yeah, the Corrupted Monk on the bridge, the True Corrupted Monk, gave me a fit. I swear, that took me forever. Well, actually, it did. When I played it on PC the first time, it wasn't that hard because you could actually do something. I forget what it was. You could, I forget what it was, and then they patched it. Oh, True Serum says I watched you beat Demon of Hatred. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, Blackjack says we have Liza P. Yeah, I haven't gotten to Liza P yet. I mean, it's been so this gaming year has been tremendous. Like Black Dragon brings up Liza P. I've heard a lot of positive things about that game. But I just came off of Starfield. I came off of Tears of the Kingdom. Well, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16. What else? I started Baldur's Gate 3, then went to Starfield, finished Starfield. Now I gotta go. Now I just started Phantom Liberty. Got to go back to Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, I may get back to Liza P at some point, or I may try it at some point. Oh, it's in Game Pass. Oh, I need to try it then. My Game Pass subscription runs out like in December, and I'm not sure if I'm going to resubscribe to Game Pass. We'll see. Probably not. I'm leaning. Probably not. Like I've kept, and I've thought about keeping Game Pass for my kids too because they use it more than I do right now. But they've also been playing more on PlayStation. So I don't know. We'll see. Black Dragon, I've done the same. Mixed story controls, man. I've done the same thing. Yeah, maybe I do that too, right? I don't know, man. I need to think about what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to resubscribe for Game Pass. It just hasn't. I haven't got the ROI that I thought I was going to get with Game Pass. Gosh, I'm thinking about the True Monk. Yeah, the Fiery Demon of Hatred. He was kind of a pain in the ass. Huge one-shot kills, from what I remember. What's the player? What's the 3-year thing again? Just let your subscription expire and do the gold trick again. I thought they patched that. I thought you can't do that anymore. I do not do my top 25 games on Twitter. I'm not. Yeah. Is it just top 25 games of all time, or just top 25 games this year? Oh, of all time, I can't even think of top 25 games of all time. That's going back. That's going back 40 years, 40 something years for me. That's going to be hard for me. I mean, a couple I could rattle off the top of my head of all time: Metal Gear Solid, The Legend of Zelda, Halo, Halo 1, the first Halo. Jeez. I would put The Last of Us Part 1 up there. I'm trying to think what else. God, there's so many games I've played. Final Fantasy 7. Jeez. So this is my problem. I played so many. It's hard for me to put the top 25 all time. It really is. Greg Von Doom, Mega Man, Fallout 3, New Vegas. Fallout 3 is great. New Vegas is great. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the top 25 all time. It's hard for me to. I'd have to really think about it because I played so many games. Gregor said Redfall. Jeez. Hey, if Redfall is up there, that's great. Yeah, I can't think of. It's something I would have to really think about my top 25. Ryan says I'd include all the Uncharted games. I don't. I like Uncharted, but I don't know if I'd put them in there. Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. I'd put that in there. Mario 64. Slow-mo definitely loves Animal Crossing. I'm trying to think what else. There's so many games. So many games. That man's not even here to defend himself, Ryan. Gears of War 3? I might have a Gears game in there. I don't know. Again, I don't really have to think about my top 25 of all time. Metal Gear Solid really stands out to me for some reason. So impactful the time I played it. Yeah, I'd put a God of War up there. Maybe in the top 25. Yeah, Gear 3 was a great game. Yeah, Ryan, I agree. I think top 25 from each gen would be easier. I see that I agree with 120% because that's going to be easier. All right, everyone. I gotta wrap up the podcast. I need to go ice down my ankle. For those who don't know, I hurt myself almost 2 weeks ago. It's been about I don't know, almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks this coming Tuesday. When I put all my weight on my right ankle, I feel and hear a pop and it hurts and then it goes away. I can walk on my ankle fine though. I can walk. I don't have any swelling or bruising or anything. It's just this popping. So I don't know what it is. I went to a doctor, I went to a podiatrist, and they're like, you think it could be some soft tissue damage, or like if it keeps bothering you or it becomes annoying, come back in 3 weeks. That was last week. They said come back in 3 weeks and get an MRI. But you know, they moved my foot around, did all the things, see if there's any damage, tendons. It doesn't look like that. It's just sometimes the tendon can roll over the bone if it gets dislodged or whatever, and that's what caused the popping. So I don't know. It sucks. Yeah, I pulled a Carson Wentz. Did Carson really sprain both ankles at the same time? Jesus. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. No, like I said, I'm wearing one of those soft ankle wrap thingies, the Velcro. That's what I'm wearing. Oh, that's right. He did on the call. It's Gregor Von Dooley. You're right. How do you sprain both ankles? Like, how does that happen? Sheesh. All right. Well, look, everyone, thank you for coming by, hang out with me this impromptu BRAP. It's kind of a makeup for not having a show last night. Like I said, it's under the weather. I'm still a little under the weather, but felt good enough to do a quick show because I want to talk about Jim Ryan leaving PlayStation, Epic's layoffs, Nvidia being raided by authorities in France. So, but look, if you weren't here, join us Tuesday at no, I didn't fall off the horse. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, thank you everyone in the live chat. But if you can, join us Tuesday. As I mentioned, it looks like we are going to have Colin Moriarty on this coming Tuesday, October 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about video games. We'll have them all for about an hour. So looking forward to that. And then we'll have a regular scheduled BRAP on the following night, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So maybe do another BRAP rant this weekend. But if you're not following me on Twitter, give me a follow, or X, or whatever the hell it's called. Follow me at BRAP_podcast. I can't even talk. BRAP_podcast. And that way you'll get notifications of when I go live, or when I'm planning to go live. But also subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get alerted. Hit that bell notification so you're alerted when we do go live. Please smash that like button. Helps the channel. Appreciate the support as always, everyone. Thank you for coming by, hanging out with me. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time.